Hey guys, this is Phil from TheCurious.com, and this is the Huawei Nexus 6P or the Google Nexus 6P, depending on the way you look at it. Google builds the software, and the OEMs, including the Huawei in this case, builds the hardware, and they try to make the reference device of the Google Android devices. That's what Nexus is. And this is their latest iteration after the Nexus 6 by Motorola, so let's dive right into it. And before we do that, if I were to choose the best phone of the 2015, although it's 2016 already, then this would be it. So to start with, it's got a display of a QHD resolution, receiver, and the speaker over here. So it makes a pair of a stereo speaker, front-facing stereo speaker, one of my favorites. 8 megapixel front-facing camera is there, which is kind of cruel because it's really rich in detail and does not really mushy your face to make it, beautify or anything. So it's really cruel front-facing camera right there. Power key, volume rocker, and the USB Type-C port resides on the bottom. It's not the USB 3.0 or 3.1, so you will have no pluses on the speed side at least, and you'll need an adapter to charge with if you want to use your classic micro USB charger. And there's a nano SIM card tray over there, and the 12 megapixel camera, although it's not exactly rich in number, it takes amazing photos, so keep that in mind. The dual LED flash, and it's capable of the laser autofocus as well, the secondary microphone. Nexus imprint fingerprint reader is there, although it's nothing special, it's just, a fingerprint reader that everybody has now. There's a Nexus logo, and it's printed with a silk screen, so it can be erased, which I wouldn't suggest you, but some units have been reported to have erased Nexus logo, so be aware of that. There's a Huawei logo and the certification logo, and this part I believe is in plastic to pass the signals around. And that's pretty much it. And it comes in 3 different colors. They recently announced the matte gold color to be announced in the States, so now you have 3: silver, matte gray, and matte gold. And although it's in matte, if you got a sweaty hand like me, then you will be better off to the lighter color like silver. You can unlock the screen by placing your finger on the back very lightly, and it's actually pretty snappy. The display itself is an AMOLED unit, and we are a bit worried about the burn-ins, but it should be okay because it's got an advanced technology, and the QHD screen is sharp as crazy. And this is by far one of the best AMOLED screens that we have ever seen on a mobile display. And it's just amazing how they have built the screen. Software is one of the best features about the Nexus series, and some might not agree, saying that it's lacking so many features, but coming to Android Marshmallow from Lollipop, which was like Windows Vista, which was good in looks but bad in performances, is a lot better than the previous Nexus, considering the software. They have added so many features, and it's fluid as crazy. Everything that you do will face no lags at all, and especially multitasking, which I count a lot, is buttery smooth, so you wouldn't have any problem. Talking about the specs that's running all behind this is a Snapdragon 810, which I was kind of worried because everybody knows how Snapdragon 810 is hot and stuff, but this is quite a long time since the first launch of the Snapdragon 810. There's been revisions, and the manufacturers and the OEMs have learned from the previous one of the first devices that these guys are hot. So the Nexus 6P is, so to say, one of the most well-controlled Snapdragon 810 device. Yes, it's winter, but it's still warm inside, so I would have known if it had heat, and I felt zero heat at all whatever I do. Of course, there will be some heat if you play constant 3D games, but overall, with normal usage, this was constantly fast and constantly cool in the same time. I was very happy with Snapdragon 810 and how Huawei has controlled it, and of course, Google would have contributed to it. But anyway. Other specs are not that impressive. There's 3 GB of RAM instead of 4 like most of the major bigger smartphones have, and there is 32, 64, and 128 GB iteration of the storage. And of course, just like the other Nexus, since the Nexus 1, it doesn't have the microSD card slot expansion, so if you are aiming for a bigger storage, then you should get the bigger storage from the first place. Although I'm super happy about the software, there are some parts that I want to mention where they should fix or edit, is that they don't have the kill all button. I know they're so proud of their low kill memory management, that they're so efficient with the RAMs, but seriously, there are some errors, and when errors happen, I would like to kill my apps. So I would very appreciate if you can add a little kill all button like everybody else does. And also, they still don't have the reboot menu on the power menu. Please, reboot menu would be definitely great. And one more thing, they're still lacking the quick password input mode, where you have successfully input digits of the pin, then you wouldn't have to press the OK key to pass on. That would be very much appreciated. So please Google if you can and would. That's how I'm happy with this software. Hardware-wise, aside from the bending issue, which I wasn't able to replicate, there are few things that I don't like. First, to start with, is the vibrator inside the phone. Look how light it is when I tap on it. Well, the feedbacks don't really matter. They don't really matter that much. But it's the calls when you have the problems with the vibrator of the phone. It vibrates so lightly that I thought that maybe Google's intentionally doing this to sell their smartwatches. But really, the vibrator on this guy is too weak that I can barely feel it in my pocket. That sounds weird, but that's true. And also the battery is 3450 milliamps, and for a phone this big, they could have fitted more battery, especially when there's a little bump there. They could have filled in this part with the battery. But anyway, 3450 running with the 6 inches of a display and the QHD resolution with Snapdragon 810 high-end processor is a bit lacking. It is giving me a very consistent result. It's giving me 4 hours of battery, whatever I do. I'm very happy with that. That probably is thanks to the dose mode added on the Android Marshmallow. But still, that's a bit shorter than what I expect from a phone this big. And they do have the quick charge, but it's just proprietary. It's charging with 3 amps of the output of the charger. And while most of the quick charge technologies get to the voltages, higher voltages to faster charging, this guy has amps to have a fast charging, which means that it's not compatible with the quick charge, Qualcomm quick charge, which is the most popular quick charging method. So that's one thing. That's pretty much it about what I don't like about this hardware, because camera is super good, especially the rear camera. Front-facing camera is really good too, but as I told you, it's a bit cruel. And the sound quality, although the front-facing speakers aren't that good, the wired audio and wireless audio is definitely crisp and rich in every single sound of their equalizer. So I would say this is one of the best Android phones that I've ever used. This is just like an iPhone. Not like the iPhone in the design or the internal software, but how balanced it is. This is what I usually say about the iPhones. The iPhones are not exceptional in any ways, especially in today's standards in 2016. They're not exceptional. They don't have exceptional camera. They don't have exceptional battery. Display is not exceptional at all. But they're well balanced, and there is zero thing that they lack in particular. That's why so many people like iPhone, and so do I. I'm supposed to. I don't personally, but it's a great phone. That's why it's a great phone. And this Nexus 6P is just like the iPhone. It doesn't overwhelm in any part, nor does it lack in any part. That's one thing. That's something that is supposed to be there to not annoy you while you're using your phone. What's the point if the battery is great but CPU is slow? What's the good if the screen is amazing and sound quality is bad? This guy lacks nothing. And this well-balanced phone would be your best choice if you're looking for a very pure Android that can perform and that you can rely on. This is a very trustworthy, reliable, one hell of an Android phone. That was Nexus 6P. Don't forget to subscribe us on Instagram, Facebook, Twitter, and Google+, and we'll see you guys in the other reviews. Ciao.